So, hello YouTube. I'm here. I'm gonna be ranking One Piece arcs. On shorter. This is if you've ever done favorite Pokemon picker. I'm pretty sure it's like that. Based on how Brody Roman input it. Um, he did this. I think semi recently. Um, about he did here. So yeah, recently. Yeah, a couple days ago. Um, I oh, he's a great One Piece creator. He does some great One Piece stuff. I don't know about any of his other content. If he does other content other than One Piece, I don't know. Um, because I've only watched his One Piece stuff, and he mostly does One Piece stuff. Um, no, I want to watch this. Oh wait, no, I have watched this. Okay, but no. Um, anyway, big shout out to him for the or him his content specific gave me the idea. He's far bigger than me, so Frog doesn't need my shout out. But still, um, yeah. So so for those who don't know, One Piece manga is my favorite piece of fiction of all time. Every new chapter, I do a reaction and analysis to it. I love it so much. One Piece is great. Specifically the manga. The anime is good, but not nearly as good as the manga. So I'm specifically a big fan of the manga. It is my favorite piece of fiction of all time. Now, does that mean I don't have criticisms about it? Of course not. I have criticized One Piece in the past, including on one of my streams, in one of my chapter reactions. But, like, that's beside the point. I'm a big One Piece fan. So I thought, why don't I do the arcs? Like, why don't I rank One Piece arcs? Um, uh, Now I could do this in Tier List Maker, and I probably might eventually. But like, I thought, hey, this sounds interesting, and like, it might give me a at least baseline for how to rank them in Tier List Maker. Um, so it seems like they pit. I think I've done something on Sorter before. Actually, I just don't remember. But did something like I've done a couple things like this before. Basically, it puts different things against each other, and you have to choose one. For this, it's One Piece arcs. So there will be a total of I believe 33, 33. Because I doubt they're including like the cover stories, because that'd be fucking weird. Um, so there will be total 33 because there are 33 arcs in One Piece right now. So right now it's Jaya versus Reverie. I'm higher on both these arcs than I think a lot of other people are. It's obviously Reverie because it's far more interesting of an arc. It just explores the world so much better than Jaya, but like Jaya is great. Both are great. Scott Reverie though. Whiskey Peak or Baratie, it's Baratie. Baratie or Reverie, it's Baratie. Reverie or Whiskey Peak. Oh yeah, I should probably be saying like why stuff are better. Oh, well, too late for some of them. Uh, Whiskey Peak is good for Whiskey Peak versus Baratie. Whiskey Peak is good. Do not get me wrong. Jeez, do not get me wrong. Like, it does a good job introducing Baroque and Vivi and like opening up the Alabasta struggle. Like, it's not the start of the Alabasta saga. That's Reverse Mountain, but like, it does do a good job of it. Of like being a proper beginning to the Alabasta saga. But like Baratie just feels just Sanji's first backstory, everything, and like everything surrounding Sanji in that arc is incredible. Well, like other than I'd say Dawn, Krieg, and Pearl, every character in that arc is really good. It has the Zoro versus Mihawk fight. It has is Zoro's promise to Luffy. It just does so much for Zoro and Sanji as characters for the Wings of the Pirate King. It also is such an incredible introduction to Mihawk. Her Whiskey Peak, I said my thoughts on Whiskey Peak, kind of the Reverie too. The Reverie, again, like I said, does some incredible world like it sets up stuff incredibly well. Like it's really starts setting up Imu incredibly well. We start seeing Bonnie do stuff like infiltrating the Reverie with her age spirit. We see Abo and other revolutionary and some of the Revolutionary Army commanders infiltrate the Reverie, which leads to Sabo getting framed for killing Cobra, even though Imu is the one who killed him. It does so much for the story that, while it is not by no means one of my favorite arcs, I cannot downplay how important it is. It also leads to Vivi and Wapol being on the run because they saw Imu, which will probably lead to Vivi. I'm not gonna say joining the Straw Hats because I don't think she's gonna join as an official member. I do think she'll travel with the. I've said this before. I do think she'll travel with the Straw Hats again. She's just. It's just set up to the point where there's no doubt in my mind she's going to travel with the Straw Hats again, probably for the rest of the series. However, I don't think that's going to be as an official member because she cannot hold her own in a 1v1 against one of the Titanic captains, and she kind of needs to. There's a reason why I think Shuri... There are many reasons why I think Shuri's going to be the final Straw Hat. Like, it just makes too much sense to me. But Reverie over Whiskey Peak, always. Jaya or Whiskey Peak? Whiskey Peak, again, great job setting up the Alabasta saga. Jaya does a great job setting up the Skypiea saga, but also specifically setting up Skypiea, because in the Skypiea saga, it's only Jaya and Skypiea in that saga, but, like, that is also where the Mary gets irreparably damaged. Like, I don't know if it's fact or theory, but like I heard somewhere that Bellamy is the one who, when Bellamy destroyed the Mary, like he made it so that it was irreparable. He's the reason the Mary was irreparable. Now I still like Bellamy, but that just did so much for the story, because without the Mary being destroyed, you don't get Usopp versus Usopp, which is one of the best fights in the series. Without the Mary being destroyed, you don't get hit Frankie building the Sunny, which means that even if he did join the crew, which I don't think he would if the Mary wasn't destroyed, because a big reason why he joined the crew was because he got to know Usopp, and Usopp ended up trusting him. He wouldn't have done that if the Mary was still a thing, because he would just be seen, because Usopp would just see him as a thief, and it just would not work. I don't think Frankie would join the crew, but even if he did, there would be no point, because his dream would not be fulfilled, because his dream is to build the dream ship of dreams and have it sail around the world and sail around the world on it. He didn't build the Mary. Just Jaya does so much for story for like the next few arcs and the story as a whole that I cannot, in good faith, choose Whiskey Peak. Plus, I like Bellamy as a villain more than like the ensemble villains of Brokeworks. Oh, Punk Hazard or Post War? Is this even a discussion? Look, I'm probably one of Punk Hazard's biggest defenders, but it's not better than Post War. The Ace Double Luffy flashback, basically. That's what Post War is. It's that, and then setting up a bit of like what will, and it sets up the time skip. That's what Post War does. It's just better than Punk Hazard. Like Post War's, like it also shows the aftermath of Marineford incredibly well. I just love it to death. It's really good. It's not one of my favorites. Neither is Punk Hazard, but it's better than Punk Hazard. Orange Town or Poseidon's Lobby. This one's actually kind of tough for me because Poseidon's Lobby is the burning of the Mary. I love that scene a lot. Makes me cry over a fucking boat. But I do like it a lot. It also sets up Shanks being in that. It also says that Shanks is emperor. It introduces Garp as properly introduces Garp as Luffy's grandfather, and like we find out he's Luffy's grandfather because we saw him before in like the Kobe Meppo cover story, but we didn't properly get introduced to him until Poseidon's Lobby. We found out Dragon is Luffy's father, or it starts setting up Marineford, if I'm remembering correctly. Does it? I don't remember. But it's just, yes, I think it does. It's just very good. Orange Town, what it has is Buggy's introduction and Shushu's. Is Buggy's introduction, Nami's introduction, and Shushu's flashback. Hi, Python. That's what it has. It's really good. Like, Orange Town is a good arc. Do not get me wrong. But Poseidon's Lobby, I think, just does too much for the story. How are you today? Post-war Poseidon's Lobby. This is post-war. Easy. Post-war clears Poseidon's Lobby. It's going good. How about you? Punk Hazard Poseidon's Lobby. Poseidon's Lobby, because it has the Mary burning. It's good. That's good. Because it has the Mary burning. It's really good. Like as, and just of everything I said again. Punk Hazard, if I remember correctly, even in the manga, it has that weird Sanji thing with Nami's body, and I just don't like it. I just don't. Um, like I just don't love it. As like again, I'm one of Punk Hazard's biggest defenders, probably. However, it's not better than Poseidon's Lobby. Punk Hazard Orangetown. This goes to Orangetown. I think Punk. Again, I defend Punk Hazard a lot. I'm probably one of its biggest defenders. But Orangetown does have Buggy's introduction, Nami's introduction. If you don't actually if you're confused about why I'm saying Orangetown has Nami's introduction, that's understandable. I know a lot of people don't read the manga and watch the anime instead. In the anime, Nami isn't properly introduced to Orangetown even in the anime. She is shown in the anime in Romance Dawn prior to Orangetown. However, in the manga, she isn't even shown to Orangetown. We don't see Nami to her introduction, which is actually something I think the anime, one of the few things I think the anime does better than the manga. But it has Nami's introduction, it has Buggy's introduction, it has the Shushu flashback. It's just really solid, even though it's not one of my favorites. Post-war Baratie. This is Baratie, easy. As I said, incredible characterization for Sanji. It's a great introduction to Sanji. We get his first flashback, which is incredible. It's the first time, it wasn't the first time that One Piece made me feel something, but it was the first time that One Piece made me, put me on the verge of tears, and it does make me cry when I revisit it. When I reread Baratie. Incredible development for Zoro after his fight with Mihawk. That Zoro versus Mihawk fight in general. Gin is a great character. Just these two fucking suck. Yeah, it's Baratie. Baratie clears this. Reverie or post-war? This one's actually closer than I think. Close for me. Reverie does a lot. They both do a lot for the story. I think. Here's how I think it is. I think I prefer post-war, but the Reverie is the better arc, maybe? No, I think post-war might be better. I do prefer post-war over the Reverie. I know that. But do I think it's... This is... I don't actually know. I don't fucking know. I think I'm gonna go post-war. Just because I think this is a preference thing. I can't tell any objectively better. Actually, wait. Reverie shows Saint Miosgard standing up to Saint Charlos. It has Saint Miosgard hitting Saint Charlos, which is incredible to the story because it shows that it shows that anyone can change, even the worst of people, celestial dragons. We know that St. Charles was an evil person. He was a bad guy. We saw that in Fishman Island, and it shows his change, and that was really good. Also, whenever we get to see St. Charles get his shit rocked, it's always a red letter day. I think post-war still takes it slightly. But the Reverie is good. Post-Saints Lobby of the Reverie. This goes to the Reverie. Oh, but Post-Saints Lobby. I think Post-Saints Lobby for me. It just... I get more emotional because it also has Usopp's apology, which also makes me cry. This arc makes me cry 2 times with how short it is. It's really, it sets up a lot. It also introduces Kobe and Helmrepo after their training. Yeah, yep, yep. Post Saints Robbie I think is better. Orange Center Rivalry, this is Rivalry. Easy. Orange Center Jaya, this is. Actually, this is Jaya. Yeah. Jaya also has Blackbeard's introduction. How the fuck did I forget to mention that? Like, only one of the best character introductions in any piece of fiction of all time. How did I forget that? Oh, that changes things. Not really. I should still choose what I chose over Jaya. But that is. Blackbeard's introduction is one of the highest highs in the series. Um. Here he's. Oh. Or just of any piece of fiction of all time. It's Jaya here. Jaya just. Blackbeard has probably the best character introduction in the series. Maybe no, even Loki's character introduction isn't as good. Whiskey Peak, Orangetown. No. Okay, this goes to Orangetown. Whiskey Peak or Punk Hazard. Here, I actually think it goes to Punk Hazard. Um, I have a soft spot for kids. Um, for children. I love kids, not in the weird way. In a normal way, I love kids. They're great. So when I see something where a kid is getting hurt, it really affects me. Cause meh. Uh, I think so. I think so. Punk Hazard hit me harder emotionally than Whiskey Peak, especially on like rereads and when I watched the anime. The only one that actually even hit me slightly hard was Igaram's death, but we know he isn't fucking dead. And while yes, all the kids end up fine in Punk Hazard, rewatching that still hits me hard emotionally. Watching the kids go like through their withdrawal symptoms, being like, "Give me the candy" or and stuff like that. Like seeing the kids go through that still hits me hard emotionally, even though I know they end up okay. Punk Hazard. Uh, Drum Kingdom or Wano. Look, Wano's good. Do not get me wrong. But it is also extremely busy. Like, it feels cramped. Like, it has poor pacing even in the manga. Like, for me to say that a One Piece arc in the manga feels cramped should and feels like it tried to put too many things in at too many plot points in at once. Like, for me to have that as a criticism of the manga, that's usually a criticism I only have of the anime. For me to have that as a criticism for the manga, that shows volumes about Wano. Again, Wano is a good arc. Like, it has, I think, some of the highest highs in the series. But it also has some of the lowest lows. Drum Kingdom is just a strong arc all throughout, and it's not that long. All the characters are great, except for Wapol and his goons, but even Wapol's getting better as a character as you explore him more. Or so in hindsight, Wapol isn't too bad. It has the incredible scene of Luffy. He's staying on top of the castle, hanging the Cherry Blossom, Jolly Roger, like holding the pirate flag, like, telling Wapol, you cannot destroy this. Like, basically telling Wapol, you cannot uh, destroy this flag. Which also, like, it is too, like, what it means is too important. Which also then incredibly shows an incredible dichotomy between Jolly Roger and the world government flag when Luffy has his. I'm not even gonna make a joke here. When Luffy has Usopp in the guise of uh Sniper King shoot down the world government flag, in fucking credible that that flag burns so easily while the Jolly Roger stays is like or the Jolly Roger was not destroyed. It just incredible. Heroics a great character. Kure has a great character. It Sanji's a great character in this. Chopper's flashback is fucking incredible. I think it was the first time I actually act. No, it wasn't the first time I actually carjacked One Piece. That was our own park. Um, Jump Kingdom is incredible. Just stalled all throughout, and it's just incredible. Hold on. Amazon Lily or Skypea? This goes to Skypea. Look, Amazon Lily's good. Amazon Lily is absolutely good. It's a good arc. It shows the Sorcerer Dragon. It shows even more how horrific the Sorcerer Dragons are by implying that when Boa was and her sisters were kids, especially Boa, they were like it's incredible. Like especially sorry, it shows that how it implies that they were abused, sexually abused. It was great. It's great arc. Do not get me wrong. Wrong. I will not say that. You'll never hear me say that Amazon Lily is a bad, poorly written arc. But Skypiea is just fucking incredible. Now, I know that a lot of people say, skip Skypiea. You cannot skip. One does not simply skip Skypiea. One does not simply skip Skypiea. Um, like, I don't know if I can properly. Skypiea is just incredible. Oh, it shows what basically like it has like and that was a great character. Er, it has it has some great moments for Chopper. Er, it has one of the like it has some good moments for Usopp. He has one of the best Sanji moments of all time. I Need Light. We get to learn a bit more about Robin's character. At least, we get to the whole poneglyph of Roger, er, like leaving a message on Skypiea and the poneglyph writing, where we have where it starts making us think. Did Roger know how to read the poneglyphs? Or if so, who on his crew did? Or actually, even more so, how did they know how to write in that text? Um. Uh. Then basically, okay. So, let me collect my thoughts. Let me collect my thoughts. Okay. Um. I, it has the it has for sure some foreshadowing for hockey, specific at least observation hockey in form of Montella. Well, maybe hockey wasn't fully developed at that point, or just had the idea for like observation hockey, and he didn't come up with like Army and Conquers hockey and like the advanced forms of hockey until later. But like we had at least had the baseline for what hockey would become in Skypiea, and it has some foreshadowing for hockey. However, um, like Skypiea with Dot, and then like Gonfold's a good character, Wiper's a good character. It has that incredible scene of Luffy ringing the golden bell. Who as the final attack to beat Heat. And now with the incredible speech he gives. I don't remember it word for word, but it's like, can't you hear it? It the golden bell of Shandora is ringing. It's something like that, and it's fucking incredible. Um, it's so good. Skypiea just. Plus, the pacing of Skypiea is so much worse than the anime. It's not that bad in the manga. Like, Skypiea is not a poorly paced arc in the manga. It's just the fucking anime. It's just that Toei, he he butchers the fucking anime. Like, it's such a good arc, and the fact that people tell people to skip Skypiea, makes me want to. It just, oh, it's so annoying when I see that. When I see someone say skip Skypiea, because I'm like, don't fucking skip Skypiea. It has so. It also has foreshadowing for Gear 5, and this is like the not necessarily the earliest foreshadowing for Gear 5 or for Hockey. Like, debatably, Hockey's first foreshadowed in Royal Garden when Luffy beats Mr. 3. But, like, this is, like, when Hockey is definitely foreshadowed, whereas Royal Garden, it's potential foreshadowing. And also, like, this is the first time Gear 5 is definitely foreshadowed, whereas you could technically say Gear 5 has been foreshadowed since the beginning, where Luffy is liberating people, or foreshadowing him being the warrior of liberation. Just like where he first liberates Kobe from Alvida's crew. You could say that. Would you be right? I don't fucking think so. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I don't fucking think so. But it's so good. Skypiea is incredible. In the Nolan and Kagura flashback is really fucking good. It's Skypiea. Skypiea or Jump Kingdom. Or Jump Island. Which one? Um this is kind of close for me because I love both arcs so much. Drum Kingdom hits me harder emotionally than Skypiea does. Does it? I don't actually think it does. Does Skypiea hit me harder emotionally than Drum Kingdom? Drum Island? I don't know. Ooh, this is actually a tough question. Do I prefer Skypiea over Drum Island? Which one hits me harder emotionally? I think that's gonna be what I go with. No, but oh yeah, Drum Island also has set for Blackbeard and Ace. I forgot to mention that. I It's Skypiea. I think it's Skypiea ever so slightly. This is Drum Island. Wano or Amazon Lily? I Now I have my criticism about Wano. I said it earlier. It's so like Oda packed so many different plot points into Wano that it feels kind of what's the word? It feels kind of like it feels bloated. Wano is definitely a bloated arc. Amazon Lily is not. But and while Amazon Lily incredible has some great stuff setting up Impel Down in Marineford, it shows it introduces us to Boa and Goriosa, who was that was our I want to say first introduction to one of the Rocks pirates? Because it wasn't Shiki. We weren't introduced to Shiki at all. Like, we didn't even hear about Shiki at all until Impel Down. Um, wasn't Shiki. Wasn't Kaido. Not Big Mom. No, we were introduced to Whitebeard first. Whitebeard was the first introduction of one of the Rocks pirates. Um, no, actually, technically not even fucking true. Uh, the guy from Wanted, what's his name? Why can't I remember his fucking name? He was a member of the Rocks pirates, though. He had Peronis for it before he had it. Uh, hmm. Because I do have my issues with Wano. I definitely do. But I do. One also hits me harder emotionally than Amazon Lily. He has Odin's flashback, which is great. He has the Smile Fruits, which is great. Hits me hard emotionally. The plight of Wano, of Wano being of it, one of those people being starved and not having good reliable access to clean food or water. Her it's more emotionally. Like, it's really like what Wano does. Pretty much everything Wano does is very good. Just it's also so bloated. Uh, Zoro versus King is incredible. Luffy versus Kaido is great. 8. Sanji versus Queen is incredible. It gives Sanji such great development, being like, and it really shows us how much how much Sanji cares about Luffy and him achieving his dream of becoming king of the pirates. Where he's like, he considers giving up on his humanity. Be like, who would Luffy like? It really goes like, who does Luffy need more on his crew? Who to help him become king of the pirates? And then, more importantly, who does Luffy want? Who who does Luffy want on his crew? And he makes the right choice to stay himself. Not to give up on all the power the Jarama suit could give him, to stay himself. It's incredible. Uh, I don't know. Like, I think, again, Wano has some of the highest highs. I'm just not, like, I like Amazon Really. It's a good arc, it's a well written arc. I do get more enjoyment. I think on a whole, I do get slightly more enjoyment of Wano, though. Go Wano. Ooh, Dressrosa Wrong Park. I mean, I liked One Piece from the beginning, but Wrong Park is really where I fell in love with One Piece. I'm like, okay, this is something I want to stick with. And I dropped the anime when I watched after finishing Skypiea, and I picked up the manga. Uh, but like, Dressrosa has Raw's flashback, which is fucking incredible. Gear 4, which is great. It has the like Doflamingo's a great villain. It has the Rebecca Kuros flashback, which is great. It has the flashback to how Doflamingo took over Dressrosa, which is great. It, I think it's where the Will of D Will of D is explored more in it. I think it's great. Ah, like it has the formation of the Shark Grand Fleet. It's great, but it's fucking Arlong Park. Nami's flashback is is incredible. Arlong is a great villain who only got better as time went on as we got what stuff as we learned. He's got arcs like Sabo the Archipelago. Oh, and Fishman Island. It has the walk to Arlong Park. It's really good. It's so good. It has Wolf putting his hat on Nami. Nami asking Wolf for help and him putting his hat on her. It's really fucking good. I go Arlong Park. Uh, I go Arlong Park. Well, this is no brainer. This is my favorite arc in the fucking series. Fishman Island is I think Fishman Island's good. I'm one of Island's biggest defenders. I'm like, Fishman Island isn't as bad as people say. It's actually a good arc. It's just really bogged down by one how much it tries to do. Like Wano, it doesn't do. It isn't as nearly as boring as manga. It is Wano is even in the manga. Uh, Hody Jones is a good villain in the context of Fishman Island. He sucks. He would suck in any other context. Fishman Island has the worst of Sanji, though. It'll, like, that's where people start getting the misconception that, also, there's Sanji's character is this perf gag, and I don't like that. Vanderdecken is a scumbag, and I don't like. Oh shit! Now I really don't like the guy. Uh. mm, Um. He. Cause again, I like Fishman Island. I'm one of its biggest defenders. Enies Lobby is my favorite arc in the fucking series. Gear 2 shown for the first time. Also, Fishman Island is like where I start being like, okay, Gear 4 plot hole. Why is Luffy using Gear 2 and 3 when he could be using Gear 4 against Horty Jones? Luffy's not the kind of guy to hold back. Okay, kind of. But like, why he's not using Gear 4 against Horty Jones? That would make it so much easier. Why is he using Gear 2, which drains his lifespan? And when he already had his more than half of his remaining lifespan gone after impelled down, and all his uses of Gear 2 prior and after, it's kind of fucking weird. Now before Gear 4, I didn't have this problem, but after I read Justos, I was like, yeah, this is a problem. This is a plot hole. Or at least a plot convenience. Because of how I think One Piece might end. No, why? Huh. So, like, Fishman Island has its problems, do not get me wrong. The Otahime and Fish Tiger flashbacks, which also have Jinbei's flashback, because it's the only Jinbei flashback we've gotten. It's really good. But Enies Lobby has Robin's backstory. I want to Robin's I want to live scene. Luffy versus Lucci Part 1, which is one of the best fights in the series. It has Luffy telling Usopp to shoot down the world government flag, which, as I said with Jump Kingdom, there's a great dichotomy there with the world government flag and a Jolly Roger. They're showing that the world government flag is far more fragile than a pirate flag. It has Usopp taking off the Sniper King mask. Like, it's like showing how, yes, he was Sniper King throughout most of the arc, but who Luffy needed was not Sniper King, it was Usopp. It was so fucking good. The arc's funny. It has some other great 1v1s, like Sanji vs. Jabra, or Nami versus his Khalifa. It also has Zoro and Usopp, specifically Zoro versus Kaku, and we get to see Monster Point for the first time. It's really good, and like we get to see Frankie burning the blueprints to Pluton. Ooh, it's good. Ooh, it's good. It's the best arc in the series. As I just said, the best arc in the series. Look, again, I'm one of Fishman Island's biggest defenders. But a lot of why I defend it is for what it does for Arlong's character. Arlong Park is the better arc, objectively. Fishman Island or Dressrosa? It's Dressrosa. I need to start hurrying this up. I've been on this longer than I thought. I've been on here on this for an hour. Enies Lobby, Arlong Park, Skypiea, Drum Kingdom, Drum Island, Dressrosa, Wano. Yeah, as much as issues I have with Wano, it's better than Fishman Island. Amazon Lily. Enies Lobby, Arlong Park, Skypiea, Drum Island. This is gonna sound fucking insane, but I think I like Baratie more than just. No. Dressrosa says it's near Pink flashback. It's easier for me to sit down and read Baratie than it is for me to sit down and read Dressrosa. But Dressrosa hits me hard emotionally, and I think it's the better written arc. It also has the better written villains. It's Dressrosa. It's just easier for me to sit down and read Baratie. This Baratie. This is Wano. Post-war. Post-Enies Lobby. Reverie. Jaya. Amazon Lily. Orangetown. Fishman Island. Because Fishman Island is better than Punk Hazard. Without a doubt. Elbaf. Okay, Longer Longland is the worst arc in the series. Can it be funny? Sure. Does it also fucking suck writing-wise? Yes. Is the worst arc in the series. It is the only arc in the series where I have no defense for it. Other than funny. But other One Piece arcs are both well-written and funny. I guess it sets up Davy back fights? Or Davy Jones? Davy Clan? Rocks? Blackbeard? Who fucking cares? It's Long Ring Longland. Elbaf is better. Elbaf is where I've been, not since the beginning of Elbaf, but pretty early on in Elbaf was when I started doing my One Piece chapter reaction and analysis. It was great. Elbaf is great. Yes, I've had my criticisms about Elbaf. A certain chapter in Elbaf pissed me the fuck off. But Elbaf has been great so far. What it's done for Brook's character has been great. Introducing Loki and Scopper has been great. It's done a lot. Introducing the God's Knight, properly introducing the God's Knights has been great. Emu's introduction was great. Giving us some Backshore Nemu and Joy Boy. Now let's just hope it, like, Shuri's introduction was great. The Brook Shuri flashback was great. And we're probably getting another Shuri flashback too. Which I'm sure will be great. The introduction of the final Straw Hat, maybe? In Shuri? Yeah. Please, Oda, give me her as the final shot. Hopefully it does more for Usopp's character, because that is what really is needed to tie the arc together, because Elbaf matters way too much to Usopp's character. I know people would say the same about Zoro and Frankie with Wano and Egghead, but, like, they weren't being like, I need to go visit Wano. Oh, it is part of my dream. Or I need to go visit Egghead. It is part of my dream. It's just because Zoro's ancestors were from Wano, and Frankie, he looks up to Vegapunk. Yes, both arcs should focus more on those characters. Wano should focus more. Like, Wano should focus more on Zoro. Egghead should have focused more on Frankie. I'm not saying they shouldn't. Absolutely, they should have. But, like, Elbaf is actually too important to Usopp's character for that not to fucking happen. I'm going Elbaf. But right now I'm going Elbaf. I think I will continue to go Elbaf. Over, what is it again? Longland? Yeah. Because there's no way Elbaf will be worse than Longland. Because it at least has some high highs, whereas Longland only has low lows and then some funny stuff. I want to make sure yeah. Okay. Oh, Little Garden Logtown. Logtown is better than in the anime. I'm going to say that straight up. Whereas Little Garden, both are great. Speaking of Usopp's dream, this is where his dream fully takes its shape. Like, yeah, he's like, I want to be a brave warrior of the sea beforehand, but this is where, like, he's like, I will become a brave warrior of the sea. I will emulate the warriors of Elbaf. I want to go to Elbaf. I will go to Elbaf someday. This is where it begins. Dorian Bargate are great characters. It's just a great arc all around. Logtown is great, but it's specifically great in the anime. The manga is good. The anime, it's another one of the few cases where I think the anime is better than the manga. Where Logtown in the anime is better, and I'm specifically talking manga. I'm specifically talking canon. So we don't have the father versus Usopp duel, which is great for Usopp's character. We don't have Luffy meeting Smoker in the bar that Roger frequented. That we don't get that in the manga. That was great. Like, just Logtown is better than the anime, and there's no debate about that. Little Garden is better than Logtown in the manga. In the anime, I think Logtown might be better than Little Garden, though it's closer. Elbaf or Little Garden? This is Elbaf. Little Garden. Logtown. Reverse Mountain or Thrower Bark? Reverse Mountain does some great setup for Thrower Bark, ironically. It does some great setup for Brook. Setting up Brook as one of the pirates that Laboon loved so much. Well, because Brook was one of the pirates that Laboon loved so much. It was Reverse Mountain is great, hits me hard emotionally when I see this fuck ass whale. But Thriller Bark, I'm one of Thriller Bark's biggest defenders. And in the manga, it's not like is manga is, as always is far better paced than the anime. So like it doesn't. I've never gotten annoyed reading Thorbark. Like I've gotten close. Like I think Thorbark still has poor pace, relatively poor pacing in the manga. Like I to where if it went on a wee bit longer, I think it would be worse. Unless like specifically length was giving Mori a proper flashback. Not even necessarily like spoiling stuff about Kaido and stuff. Like maybe even showing like a silhouette of Kaido and some soldiers of Wano killing Moria's crew, and Moria taking the body of Ryuma and his sword. I think that would have been enough, and showing how close Moria was with his crew. Uh, like we don't even need to see the like Kozuki Moria stuff. I would like to see that as a proper flashback, but we didn't even need to see it at that point. Just something better than an exposition dump for Moria would have been great, because he's such a because his execution is not good. His writing, however, is great. He's such a well-written character, and the fact that people don't like him makes me sad. I love Gecko Moria. I love the guy. He's a great character. Just he's murdered by execution. Introduction of Kuma, which is and Kuma's introduction is great as the what happened, the nothing happened moment. It gives some great characterization for again the the Wings of the Pirate King, Zoro and Sanji. It shows how both. Now, obviously, I think every shot at this point, except for maybe Frankie, would be willing to risk their life, and Brook, but he wasn't technically a member at this point, would be willing to risk their life for Luffy. But I think would be willing to risk their life for Luffy. But uh but so much yeah. But yeah, it's great. It's really good. Um and Ben Brooks' first flashback hits me incredibly fucking hard emotionally. I love it a lot. Yes, it has Absorb and Hogback. I despise those characters to my very core, but it also does have Moria and Prono as villains, which are characters that I actually really like. And Moria does take some character analysis to fully appreciate, though. And I will levy that as a criticism because if your average One Piece fan who wasn't very, if your average One Piece fan and who is not very smart cannot fall in love with the character without having to analyze them, which they can't do because you know the average IQ of a One Piece fan is probably not in the double digits. It's I think Throwback's really good. Um, Reverse Mountain's also very good, but I think Throwback's better. Syrup Villager Zoe does so much for like world like character building and world building. Like it sets up Wano, it sets up Whole Cake. It does a lot. It's really good. Like it's the first road poneglyph that the Straw Hats get and all get. It's really good. And then Syrup Village is Syrup Village. It's probably my second least favorite arc in the series, if I'm being honest. Syrup Village is just as not as good as some other arcs. Is probably my least favorite arc in the series, other than Long Ring Long Land. Yes, it has Usopp's introduction, which is great. It has Usopp's flashback, which is fine. It has Luffy being like telling Kuro that like some great characterization for Luffy, showing like reestablishing his character that like people like Kuro disgust him. Kuro killing his own crewmates. He's like, those are your friends. Some great characterization for Luffy. Usopp's introduction. But it's also not the best arc. Like, Kuro is not a great character. He just isn't. I think Syrup Village is worse than Zou. Thor Barker Zou. People are gonna fucking skin me alive for this sake. I think Thor Bark is the better arc than is better than Zou. I do need to hurry this up. I think I've went through every arc at this point, giving at least a small explanation of why, them. So I gotta hurry up. Reverse Mountain. Elbaf. Elbaf has been better than Thorbark. Thorbark, I think, is better than Royal Garden. Royal Garden is better than Reverse Mountain. Reverse Mountain better than Logtown. Zou. Logtown. Syrup Village. Oh, I haven't. Impel Down. Impel Down. How did I forget about these? Impel Down is great. It shows Luffy. Like, this is like Magellan was the first was the first fight Luffy just literally could not win. Like, there's no way for Luffy to win against Magellan. It just really showed how helpless Luffy could be, and how much he did need to train more before the New World. It sets up Blackbeard Gang as crew. It gets like the Titanic captains. It's really good. It sets up Jinbei. Like, it's Jinbei's proper introduction. It's Bon-Koi. It's an introduction of Ivankov. It's Bon-Koi's big sacrifice. He's not dead, but he's actually probably living his best life as the queen of level 5.5 of Impel Down. But yeah, it's great. Impel Down is great. It's and better that I'm talking about the manga, which has better pacing than the anime. Obviously, the anime's pacing sucks. Impel Down in the anime is so good, but it is hard for me to get through. I can and sit down and read Impel Down. It is hard for me to get through Impel Down than some other arcs in the series, but it's so good. But it's fucking Alabasta. It has Vivi's stop fighting moment, which I know a lot of people meme on, but it's really good it's a really good moment. And we get the Kozo Vivi flashback, which is very good. We get Luffy vs. Crocodile fight, which is really good. We get Luffy saving Robin and Robin joining the crew because of that, which is very good. We get a moment that I really like, which is Cobra bowing to the Straw Hats being like, there's no such thing as a naked king. I love that moment. I love Nami's happiness punt. No. Just Alabasta is a really strong arc. It was at one point, I think, my favorite arc. It was either that or Arlong Park. I think it kept flip flopping between Alabasta and Arlong Park for my favorite arc in One Piece. At one point, it's just really good. It's also Ace's introduction, and this is another one where I think the anime is slightly better, at least in some regards. Where the rest of the crew meets Ace. In the manga, they don't. Ace does not meet the rest of the Straws in the manga. He just meets up with Luffy, and then fucks off. I do think him traveling with the Straws for part of Alabasta is really good. It lets at least these these let's at least these five here get attached to Ace in at least a little bit, so that because right now, for reason why they cared about Ace being executed, like in canon, is because of what it would do to Luffy. They knew Luffy loved Ace, but they didn't know Ace, so just it just doesn't hit as hard in the manga. This is one of the few times where I will say this. The anime did it better. I've said it a few times. I've said it a couple times already. This is the last time I'll say it. Also, because I think probably after this I'll be done my arc explanations. I think I have one or two more arcs left to explain. Alabasta, I think is better than Pull Down. No, two. Marineford or Whole Cake? Marineford, many people rightfully have as their favorite arc. Is much better than the manga because the anime's pacing kind of easy. Impel Down is not better. Marineford is slightly better than the Whole Cake. I understand where you're coming from. It has Whitebeard's death and speech about One Piece being real. It's great. It has Ace's death. It has Jinbei's first time really saving Luffy, which really kind of sets up him being a Straw Hat. It's great. It has Luffy breaking down into tears after watching Ace die, which is a really good moment. Also, when I was talking about Post War, I completely forgot to. Marineford is more impactful? Yes. I do think that is the case. I think Marineford is more impactful to the story as a whole. And I think. Yeah, I think Marineford is the better arc. When I do my One Piece arc tier list, which will be a more objective ranking, I think I will put Marineford over Whole Cake, though I prefer Whole Cake. Whole Cake hits me harder emotionally with Sanji's second backstory, Pedro's death. The Luffy vs. Katakuri fight is one of the best fights in the series. It does a lot to redeem Sanji's character. Even in the manga, I was getting fucking sick of Sanji. Yeah. Yeah. Cause even in the manga, I was getting sick of Sanji. I do think that the anime is worse for Sanji's character. But, even in the manga, after Fishman Island and Punk Hazard, and Dressrosa did a little bit to help Sanji, Dressrosa and Zoe did a little bit to help Sanji, they didn't do enough. Whole Cake really helped save Sanji's character for me. That, yeah, obviously, Katakuri vs. Luffy's Peak, yeah. That was like, yeah. Uh, yeah. Ace dying did nothing for me, but hope with developing with you. You see, Ace's death for me did hit me hard, but like, because I did like Ace. But like, I would say the same thing that a lot of people said. What hit me harder than Ace's death was Luffy's reaction to Ace's death. That's what hit me hardest in Marineford. Like that was the hardest hitting emotional beat for me in Marineford. It was Luffy's reaction to Ace's death. Um, I prefer Whole Cake. I do think Marineford is the better arc. I will choose Whole Cake in this one, but when I do my tier list for our One Piece arcs, when I eventually do that, I do think Marineford. I will put Marineford higher, though I do think these are two of the best arcs in the series. Um, Whole Cake or Alabasta? This is Whole Cake, easy. I do love Alabasta, but this is Whole Cake. Alabasta Marineford. This goes to Marineford. Oh no, there are a couple more. War 7 Return to Sabaody. War 7 is maybe my second favorite arc in this series. No, no. There are like three more arcs I have to talk about. Yeah, War 7 is better. I do love Return to Sabaody. I think it's a good miniature arc to show like how strong the shots have gotten after the time skip. Like, but also Fishman Island does that. It like Return to Sabaody is a great arc, and it gets me hyped to reread. Enies Lobby is the best. Yeah, Enies Lobby, as I said before, is my favorite arc in the series. But like yeah, Return to Sabaody, unless we're off Enies Lobby. Yes. We are breaking off Enies Lobby. Season. Yeah, it's. I think it's a good arc. It gets me hyped whenever I reread One Piece. It gets me hyped to reread post time skip. Um, and when I watched them, it got me hyped to watch post time skip, even though I know that it was going to probably burn me out. It does the return justice. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Um, I agree with you there. Uh, I, I think, and I do think I'm higher on Return to Sabaody than others. But War 7 is just so good. Frankie's introduction is incredible. There's Luffy, Zoro, Chopper, and Sanji going to the Frankie house to beat up the Frankie family for what they did to Usopp is incredible and shows how strong the Shadow's bond is. Luffy versus Usopp is, in my opinion, one of the best fights in the series, if not the best fight in the series, because of how much emotion is behind it. I will say I always say this. I never have come to One Piece for the fights. Yeah, that's totally fair. I think it might be my favorite fight in the series too. Like, the big parts of the series that I love are the big fights in the series I love most are the emotional fights, like Luffy versus Nell, Luffy versus Usopp, like stuff like that. Luffy versus Lucci, yeah. But yeah, Luffy versus Usopp is probably the best fight in the series. It's just so good. It also gives us some dialogue between Frankie and Usopp, which is great. It gives us some world building with the Quabatamons, which is great. Water 7 is just perfection. That's what we got Bleach for. Well, we watch One Piece for the emotions, not for the fights. I do think Bleach does have some good emotions, but like, yeah, like I'm not gonna say that it's as emotional as One Piece, or One Piece is as good as good as fights as Bleach. Uh, but yeah, Water 7, perfection. I think it's perfect. I think it's as close to perfect as something can be. It's Enies Lobby, that, and then an arc that you imagine is coming up next. Never mind, I was fucking wrong. Okay, Romance Dawn or Sawbody Archipelago? This is Sawbody. I like Romance Dawn. Romance Dawn is good. Yeah. Uh, Sawbody's better. Romance Dawn has Luffy's first flashback with Shanks. It has Zoro's introduction. It has Kobe's introduction. It does a good job at establishing Luffy, Zoro, and Kobe as characters. But Sawbody, he just hits me hard. And yes, while Luffy and Zoro's flashbacks do kind of do, I do like them, and they do hit me hard. You say Sawbody's the best small arc? That's actually fair. That's not a bad take. I might agree with you. Maybe I might prefer, cause like if you what do you mean by small? Like in chapter slash episode length, or like episode like chapter slash episode count, or like that's not like one of the big climactic arcs. Because I can see, because if you're going with the latter, I can see your argument. Former, like I'd still say like stuff like um Alabasta and Arlong Park are better. But yeah, I can see your argument for Sawboy. I think Sawboy is better than Romance Dawn. Though I am higher in Romance Dawn than a lot of others. So many good things happen such small amount of time. Yeah, that's very fair. We have punching St. Charlos. We start getting attached to Hachi, which is someone I never thought I would get attached to when I was reading Arlong Park. Like when I was watching or reading Arlong Park. Rayleigh vs. Kizaru, yes. Rayleigh vs. Kizaru. It has Kuma coming in and separating the Straw Hats. And Luffy, he breaking down, crying. Like, the first time Luffy, he felt helpless. Yeah, Kuma, like, whenever Luffy feels helpless, I think sometimes One Piece is at its strongest. Like, Sawboy Archipelago when he loses crew, after losing Ace. I will not say anything about Elbaf. I don't know if you're caught up with the manga. Luckily we already got past Elbaf, so all my Elbaf spoilers. Okay, I'm caught up. Like, what's happening with Luffy's emu right now? Sawboy Archipelago also introduces the supernovas and introduces the supernovas, which does a lot. It's and like the Celestial Dragons again, Luffy punching St. Charles, and so peak at the moment. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. When the next chapter? It's not this Sunday, is it? No. I think I have to wait a couple more weeks till I can do another chapter reaction. But like, yeah. Also, this is some great parallels to Moria here. Moria lost his entire crew. Moria loved his crew and lost them because of a decision he made to fight. We also just see how weak the Sharks are compared to the rest of the world. Yes, that's great. Yeah. With like Moria is like, I love Moria as a character. I think he's supremely overhated and misunderstood as a character. But yeah, like we get parallels to Luffy and Moria. Yeah, which makes Moria a better character. Like, I'll be honest, when I first read Thor Bark, I was like, okay, I don't know if Moria is as good. Like, I don't know if I like Moria, but then I read Sawboy Archipelago, and I noticed some similarities between Luffy losing his crew to a decision he made to do something good, Yeah, and that, but yeah, but as we learn more about Mori, we start seeing more some of the sympathetic sides. Like we learn that, like, well, like in Thor Bark, we do learn that he cared about his crew, and that losing his crew really affected him to the point where he lost basically all his power. Um, but as it goes on, we learn more about Mori. Like we learn the parallels between him and Luffy, like how Mori's like how Luffy could have became if um post Marineford if he didn't still have his crew. Time, yeah. His impact in Wano, yeah, in general, yeah, his impact on Wano. And then, uh, more recently, the Kozuki Moria stuff. Like, he's just gone better. But, yeah, Sabaody, great. It's so good. Egghead, Egghead is my second favorite arc in the series. The Kuma flashback is maybe my favorite flashback in the series. He's Kizu, like the emotion that this arc gives to Kuma, Bonnie, Sentomaru, Kizaru, Vegapunk is incredible. I'm not a big fan of Egghead, but I think he'll go on me when the series ends. That's fair. Egghead does have its problems. Um, I'm not caught up with the anime for Egghead, so I don't know if you first watched Egghead in the anime or read the manga first. I don't know. Um, though I am seeing some stuff that I prefer. That I am already starting to see that I prefer Egghead in the manga. But like, Egghead is my second favorite arc in the series because of what it does for Kizaru, Sentomaru, Vegapunk, Stussy Clone, and what it does for Kuma and Bonnie. I think Egghead just gets outdone by Elbaf for me. That's fair. I think for me, because there was like a chapter of Elbaf that I fucking hated. Like I despised to my very core. Maybe if I reread it, that would change. I don't know. Maybe when the volume release comes out and I reread it, like I'll change my tune. But it's it's Dorian Broggy breaking out of Domi Reversi by killing each other and then still being alive. I hated that. That chapter fucking sucked. Like I was just reading Egghead, thinking of Elbaf most of the time. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, but Kuma's flashback I think is the best flashback in the series. Like we see a lot. Like I would like more development for Frankie in Egghead. I think that's one of Egghead's biggest misses. But like this isn't like I said earlier with like Wano and Zoro and Egghead and Frankie. Like their development is not them getting development in this arc is not nearly as important. Like them being very important to this arc isn't nearly as important as Usopp being important to Elbaf because Elbaf is directly tied to Usopp's dream. Whereas what dream maybe also was. Well, Law's flashback is one of my favorites, especially when you then pair that with the Law novel. I think it's great. Um, the Law novel, pairing it with like watching Law's flashback and then pairing that with the Law novel, but Oda just makes crazy backstories. Yeah, like just in general, the backstories of One Piece, fucking rule. But yeah, I think Kuma's is my favorite flashback. Egghead, at least as of now, is my second favorite arc in the series. It could be overdone by Water 7, but right now for me, Egghead is just top tier. Water 7 or Egghead? This is real tough for me. I do think I prefer Egghead ever so slightly, though I do think Water 7 is the better arc. Objectively. I think subjectively I prefer Egghead. Objectively, Water 7 is better. Water 7 also has Frankie's backstory, which is a good backstory. It's not as good as Kuma's. Water 7 has yeah. Um, Here's the thing. Right now, it's Egghead for me. But I feel like if I reread Water 7 and Egghead back to back, Water 7's going to take it. So I don't know if I should just pick Water 7 now for the possibility that it overtakes Egghead for me as my second favorite arc in One Piece, or if I should stick with Egghead because it is my second favorite arc in the series for now, and it's possible Water 7 doesn't overtake it for me. I think it is better, the better arc, like from an objective standpoint. Like if I do a tier list, I do think I will put Water 7 over Egghead. I do think they're both S tier arcs. I think for me, Egghead's I just prefer Egghead. Good. Egghead is definitely not bad. No, I know you're not saying it's bad. You just think Water 7 is flawless. Oh no, Water 7 is flawless. Water 7 is absolutely flawless. Just for me, I think Egghead. I will prefer Egghead. I think Water 7 is better. It's Water 7. Return to Strawberry Archipelago. Go. Romance Dawn, Return to Strawberry. Ooh. No, I think this Romance Dawn. I do have a lot of fun reading Return to Strawberry, though. Yeah, I do think Romance Dawn is better, though. I have a lot of fun reading both. I think I prefer Romance Dawn, though, and it is the better arc. Egghead or Whole Cake? Whole Cake is the better arc objectively, I think. I think Egghead I prefer. Water 7 is better. Whole Cake I prefer over Strawberry Archipelago. Marineford or Strawberry Archipelago? This goes to Marineford. Alabasta or Strawberry? Ooh, this is tough for me, actually. This is tough. Huh. I don't know. Strawberry for me? Yeah, that's fair. I don't think I can roll a blame anyone for saying either one. I think I'm gonna go. I do think I will go Strawberry, though Alabasta is close. Alabasta over Romance Dawn. Impel Down over Romance Dawn. Elbaf or Egghead? I know you're gonna say Elbaf. I still think Egghead is better. It's also too soon for me to say Elbaf. I think Elbaf is very overrated. That's... I think that's fair. I think a lot of people have it as their favorite arc or even top 3 One Piece arcs. When it's not, it's very good. It's a very good arc, but it's not top 3. Elbaf might be top 5 for you, me, but finish. Yeah, I think Elbaf for me might be top 10. We'll have to see where it ends up. I do prefer Egghead overall. I think it's possible Elbaf might overtake it later on. Like, I think when Elbaf finishes, and hopefully Shuri joins the fucking Straw Hats, I think Elbaf might overtake Egghead, possibly, but it would have to shoot way up and really make up for that Dorian Broggy bullshit with that one chapter that I absolutely hated. I think for me right now, though, it's Egghead. This could change when Elbaf ends. For now, it's Egghead. I think we're close to the end of Elbaf. Oh, yeah, we absolutely are. Like, we have, I would say, at most, 15 to 20 chapters left in Elbaf. If that. We could even have, like, at minimum, 10. 10 chapters remaining. Like, I think we could have as well as 10 chapters remaining in Elbaf. Come on. Yep. Oof. Oh, thanks for the follow. My sound alert didn't work for that. I didn't hear that you followed. Sorry, thank you for the follow. Well, but yeah, Gabon I think is dying. Joined. Yeah, I did not for some reason. I didn't get my sound alert. That happens when people will follow. I didn't even hear it. Gabon could die. Yeah, big. Sanji and Gabon reminds me of Sanji. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he they they do have some parallels. They're both equal. They're both Wings of the Pirate King. They're both incredibly strong. Like probably tied for the second strongest on the crew. Um, it's just very good. Like, and yeah, uh, I bet you're really excited for Sanji Gang Conquers, which I imagine will happen within like 5 chapters. Um, but yeah, like it's really good. Elbaf is very good, though. That one chapter pissed me off so much. I I do I do prefer Egghead as of now, though I do think Sanji Gang Conquers is going to be insane. Oh yeah, but I mean it was always going to happen. Like ever since Zoro got Conquers Hockey, it was going to happen. Like I don't even prefer one or the other, or I love them both. But they are equals. They have to be equals out. Like right now, I think Zoro is stronger than Sanji, because he has Conquers and Sanji doesn't. I think when Sanji gets Conquers, that'll balance it out, and they have to be equals. Otherwise, Luffy cannot sort of become king of the pirates, because one cannot soar without wings of equal length. Also, yeah, Sanji soars better follow. Yes, I do think that is true. I think maybe if Zoro got more in Wano, that might like it might have been closer. Though I do think Sanji is the better written character. I do think he has some issues. Specifically, in Return to Sabaody, and especially Fishman Island and Punk Hazard, he has some issues. Absolutely. But, like, yeah. I think just with Baratier and Whole Cake Island, and his fight with Queen, he's just a very well written character. Water 7 or Elbaf, this is Water 7. Without a doubt. Elbaf or Whole Cake. I think Elbaf could overtake Whole Cake when it's finished. Though, I think that will have to be when Elbaf is done. I think right now it's too early for me to say that Elbaf is better than Whole Cake when Elbaf isn't done yet. Me now, yeah, that's my exact take too. It's Whole Cake for now. Depending on how the rest of Elbaf goes, it could either go higher or lower or stay where it is. I think Elbaf could overtake Whole Cake, or it might not. Yeah. Marineford for now. I think Elbaf might overtake Marineford. I think it's very likely Elbaf will overtake Marineford for me. But yeah, for now it's Marineford. This Elbaf. I love Sabaody. Sabaody Archipelago is great. It's Elbaf. Thor Barker Sabaody. I'm one of Thor Bark's biggest defenders. I said this earlier. I love it. I love that arc. It's Sabaody Archipelago. Look, I love Thor Bark. It introduced Morio, which is a character I love. I'm one of Thor Bark's biggest defenders. I think Sabaady's better. Oh, but Brooks flashback. Brooks versus flashback. plus nothing happened. Backstory: Zoro's pain and speaking had nothing happened. Like really showing how ready both Zoro and Sanji and probably extension the rest of the Straw Hats are to sacrifice themselves for Luffy is incredible. Plus Kuma's introduction. Yeah, I think Lower Park's better than Sabaody or Belgo. I do have an easier time rereading Sabaody. Like, I think, like, I could sit down and reread Sabaody before I could sit down and reread Thor Bark. Like, Frank and Luffy, yeah, Nightmare Luffy. Let's not forget Luffy pushing Zom back into the ground. Yeah, Thor Bark is very funny. Yeah, I think it's Thor Bark. Now I think about it. Wilgarden or Sabaody, the Sabaody. Look, I'm not gonna downplay what Wilgarden does for Usopp's character, and it possibly foreshadowing Haki. But yeah, Sabaody clears. Alabasta Wilgarden, this Alabasta. Wilgarden is just alright. I think like Wilgarden's good, and again, it does a lot for Usopp's character, and it might be the first foreshadowing of observation Haki, like when Luffy beats Mr. 3. That's debatable. Like, it's not like as clear as, like, Montoro and Skypiea. But yeah, Alabasta takes this over Wilgarden. Impel Down over Wilgarden, easy. Romance Stone or Wilgarden, I do think Romance Stone is better. I kind of want to hear your takes, kind of. Romance Stone? Yeah, I agree. Wilgarden or Sabaody? Return to Sabaody. I take Return to Sabaody. Here. I'm curious what your take is. Return, yeah. Yeah, I think Wilgarden is the better written arc. Though I do who prefer Return to Sabaody. It's Saints Lobby. It's my favorite arc in the series. Wilgarden's probably my least favorites. Yeah, that's fair. It might be one of my least favorites too. I know you prefer Saints Lobby over Egghead, actually. Arlong Park or Egghead, Park. Yeah. Like, I have said that Egghead's maybe my second favorite arc in the series, but when I think back on both arcs, like, Kuma's flashback to some heavy lifting for Egghead. Arlong Park might be better. Bro, I might be not falling out of love with Egghead. I still love Egghead. I still think it's definitely top 10, probably top 5 One Piece arcs. Still have Nami's backstory and Death of the Mom. Yeah. I also think they're close. Yeah, I think they're close. I think Arlong Park is the better arc. I do have more fun reading Arlong Park, I think. Also, Zoro and Sun spiritual fights. Yes, it is. Well, Zoro did fight Kawaji in Orange Town. But yeah. It's like their first fights where like they really struggle. Skypiea or Egghead. Skypiea is the better arc from a rank standpoint, though I prefer Egghead. Said first roll fights. Yeah, that's fair. I'm curious which one you prefer. Either it's Skypiea or Egghead. For me, I prefer Egghead, which is why I'm probably going to go with Egghead, though Skypiea is the better arc. I acknowledge that Skypiea is important for this story, but I just think it's so boring to watch. Yeah, that's fair. Like, Skypiea is what made me drop the anime in the first place and pick up the fucking manga. it's far easier to get through in the manga. Like the pacing's better in the manga. Just Skype is easier to get through in the manga. I prefer Egghead though. Still, I think I really appreciate villains in Skype as side characters. And now I love Anel. Anel is great. Anel is a great character. Um, though, yeah. And Wiper's a great character. Aisha was at one time, believe it or not, my most wanted Straw Hat. I want her to stow away on on the going Mary. Definitely going Egghead. Yeah, I'm going Egghead too. But Aisha, that oil Shandoran girl who had observation hockey or Montera, as you knew at the time, I want her to stow away on the going Mary and go down to the Blue Sea with the shots. Appreciate it now unless he comes back to the story. That's fair, and I think he kind of. I feel like he has to. Like I feel like now it's too important, and to not come back. Like with what he found out on the moon, like whether it's as a villain or a short ally or neutral. Like I do think Enel should come back. Probably will be in the final war. Yeah, he's gonna go on Majora's Mask and crash the moon into the One Piece world, destroying the Red Line. No, but I do think he will be in final war. Uh, but yeah, Egghead for me. It's Water 7. It's Whole Cake. This is close for me, actually. Marineford for you? Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna go Skypiea. Um, Marineford, this is close for me, and Marineford, like, I think this might literally depend on the day. I think sometimes I'll say Skypiea, sometimes I'll say Marineford. I think Marineford is the better arc overall. Or do I think Skypiea is better? Maybe. Ah, ah, ooh, hmm. Skypiea. I'm going Skypiea for today. That could change easily. Oh, Drum. This is gonna be fucking insane, but I think I prefer Drum Island. I think Marineford is the better arc, but I do prefer Drum Island. Heroick's a great character. Kureha's a great character. Wapol is getting better. Incredible moment of Luffy holding the pirate flag, which shows a great dichotomy to the world government flag with how fragile that was compared to the world government to the Jolly Roger, Chopper's backstory. Some great Sanji moments, some great Nami moments. I think for me, I personally prefer Drum Island. I do think Marineford's better. Just Dressrosa or Marineford. Now, if I were to talk about the anime, this would be a different story. I would go Marineford because Dressrosa in the anime burnt me the fuck out. I think for me, Dressrosa in the manga, I prefer Dressrosa in manga, and since I'm talking about the manga, since that's what I'm more familiar with than the anime, especially because I haven't watched, like I've only started Egghead in the anime, and I've only just started Egghead in the anime. I'm more familiar with the manga. I do think I prefer Dressrosa. Marineford, but it's close. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's they're both top 6 for me. That's completely fair. Yeah, I think Dressrosa. I think this changes for me depending on whether we're talking anime or manga. I think For me, I prefer Marineford in the anime, but Dressrosa in the manga. Go. Baratie or Marineford? This is another personal. No, no. I was gonna say Baratie, but I do prefer Marineford. Marineford easy, yeah. I love Baratie a lot, but it's Marineford. It's Elbaf. Uh, Elbaf for Baratie, I think it's Elbaf. Even though Elbaf isn't done yet, I think it is better. Yeah. It just has the general. It just has the better cast of characters. Yes, Baratie has Zeph, Gin, uh, incredible illusion moments. It has some incredible moments with Zoro, Mihawk, Sanji's first backstory. And it's great. Gin is gold. Yeah, Gin is real cool. And he's a really good character, too. He is the better villain. He's the better written villain than Don Krieg and Pearl combined. But yeah, Elbaf. Thor Bark or Baratie? This goes to Thor Bark. I think this is closer. I think it's Thor Bark ever so slightly. But I do think it's Thor Bark. Sabo or Pelger Baratie? This is close. Sabo? Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think Sabo is better. I do think Sabo is better. Alabasta for me. I'm assuming you're gonna say Baratie. Um, this is close. Okay. I do think it is kind of close, actually. Like after revisiting both many times, I think I think it's close. Uh, like in the past, I would have just been like Alabasta, easy, done. Now it's close. For me, I do think Alabasta is slightly better. Say Baratie, yeah, but there's a lot of nice things in Alabasta. Yeah, I think Alabasta is better. Plus better villains than Baratie as a whole. Baratie early on is Gin as a good villain. The other two are okay at best. Like, and Mihawk, though, I don't know if Mihawk's more an antagonist than a villain. Gonna lie, just don't give a damn about the Revolutionary Army in Alabasta. That's fair. I like Koza, but yeah, that's fair. So, Impel Down or Baratie? I think Impel Down is the better arc, but I do prefer Baratie. Impel Down, yeah, that's fair. I think, again, if I do a tier list of the arcs, I do think I put Impel Down higher than Baratie. Though, on a purely, which one do I enjoy reading more? I think I enjoy reading Baratie far more than I enjoy reading Impel Down. I enjoy reading Impel Down, but I do think I prefer reading Baratie. Wano or Impel Down? Impel Down is great in the anime? Yeah, it is. Wano? Yeah, I think it is Wano. I have some big critique. I have some critiques about Wano, like feeling bloated even in the manga, even though I went I went to the manga specifically to escape the bloatedness of the anime. To kind of escape the bloatedness of the anime. You're a Wano stan? That's fair. Uh, Wano, I was on edge for weeks. Yeah, that's fair. Wano is also. I do have a small soft spot for Wano because that's when I caught up. I caught up like around the end of Act 1 of Wano, if I'm remembering correctly. That's when I caught up to the manga and started reading in One Piece weekly. Um, no, I was fact one Wano. Yeah. Um, like, so I do have a soft spot for Wano, though do have my criticisms about Wano. Like, it feeling bloated, even in the manga. Again, even though I specifically switched the manga because the anime was feeling bloated for me. Um, during COVID, yeah. So a lot of content during time that I loved. Yeah, that's fair. Um, Sanji vs. Queen is very good. Zoro vs. Sanji vs. Queen is incredible. Zoro vs. King is incredible. This has been one of like Luffy vs. Kaido was the best Gear 5 ever was. There was I personally have Wano top 2. Ooh, that is ooh, that's spicy for me because I heavily disagree. I like Wano. I think it's a good arc, though I have some major issues with Wano, mainly with its spacing and not giving enough for Zoro. Um, the end of Wano was the most satisfying thing ever. That's fair. The ending of Wano was incredibly satisfying. Maybe the most satisfying ending to a One Piece arc we've had so far. Hmm. I do think I'd go Wano, but and it is the better arc. But I do have my criticisms about Wano. But hyping top 2 for you is interesting. Even Chow Old Robin was hype. Oh yeah, it was. It absolutely was. Post War or Impel Down? This goes to Post War. I think just in general, Post War is better than Impel Down. Impel Down for you? That's fair. I think Post War is slightly better. Dawn's introduction and her scolding Garp and Herp. Luffy going back to Marineford for to ring the bell in 3D2Y. The ASL flashback. This is when if I remember correctly, this is technically when the shot cover stories happen, where we see what happens during the tier time skip. Cried for the first time in One Piece during post war. Really, that was the first time in One Piece you cried? Not like during Baratie, Arlong Park, Drum Island, Alabasta. Really, like Skypiea. Really, post war all the way there. I was already crying like every arc since Arlong Park. His backstory on the rewatch. That's fair. Uh, yeah, yeah. I think post war. I do prefer post war. I think post war is better, but I can understand why someone may say Impel Down. I'm going post war though. Uh, post Saints Lobby or Impel Down. I do prefer post Saints Lobby. The Going Merry. This is when the Going Merry burns, and I'm on the verge of tears just thinking about it. Burning Going Merry, proper introduction of Garp, reintroduction of Kobe and Helmeppo. Oh, us learning that Garp is Luffy's grandfather and Dragon is Luffy's father. Set up for Marineford. Like for the Summit War saga. Do Aokiji and Robin's retraction. Yes. Yes, I forgot to mention that earlier. Usopp's apology to Luffy. like the burning and going Mary and Usopp's apology to Luffy both made me cry when I read them. I was like, read them. It. Hmm. I. I do think Post Saints Lobby. I do think I prefer it, though I can understand it. I can understand why you say Impel Down. Uh, Reverie or Impel Down. This goes to Reverie for me. Uh, we have Impel Down fair. But for Reverie we have, as I said before, we have it's a big setup arc. I acknowledge that. Like it's set up for like a lot of important stuff to come. Like set up for Vivi being back up with the Straw Hats. Set up for Sabo being framed for Cobra's murder. Set up for Cobra's murder. Just a big fan of Impel Down. It's top 7 for me. Yeah, that's fair. Impel Down is great. It has St. Miosgard hitting St. Charles, which would just show that even the celestial dragons, the worst of people, can change. St. Miosgard standing up for uh Shirahoshi and Neptune. Reveal of the throne, yes, the reveal of the throne, set up for Emu. St. Miosgard again, rest in peace. I think Reverie set up for Bonnie doing stuff, like set up for Bonnie becoming a more important character. I do prefer the Reverie. And I think in writing wise, it's close. Like, I do think Impel Down is the better written standalone arc, though the Reverie is the better written in setup arc. Like, Impel Down doesn't do a lot for me to set up Marineford. It does a bit, but it's not as good at setting up stuff up. Sabo's infiltration, yeah. It doesn't do as good a job at setting stuff up as the Reverie does. I like the Reverie more, though. No, I can understand why you and other people would say Impel Down. Jaya or Impel Down. This goes to Impel Down. Though I mentioned earlier how important Jaya is to the story with Bellamy destroying the Mary beyond repair. Yeah, Chesapeake. Blackbeard's introduction. Oh, that changes things. I'm going with Jaya. Again, for how important it is to like War 7 and his lobby with Bellamy destroying the Mary beyond repair. So we're going on Impel Down, that's fair. Blackbeard's introduction, which is maybe the best character introduction in the series, and one of the best character introductions in fiction, debatably. You love Blackbeard? Yeah, so do I. He's a great character. It gives us some foreshadowing on Sanji's past, where we learn he's from the East Blue, from the North Blue. Sorry, not the East Blue. Some great setup for Skypiea, which I love Skypiea. Cosplay him, Amicon. Oh, that's awesome. I don't think I could pull off a Blackbeard cosplay. Cosplay I really want to do is not One Piece related, but I really want to do Okabe Rintaro, from Steins Gate. That's a cosplay I really want to do. Oh, someday. Nice, yeah. Gyre, Gyre Impel Down. I think this is close for me. I think I could go back and reread Jaya before I could go back and reread Impel Down. Like, I'm talking like if I were just to only reread these arcs, not the series as a whole. Because if I were to reread the series as a whole, obviously I reread both arcs. Like, I'm not going to skip an arc. But Jaya, I think I could go back and reread only Jaya before I could go back and reread only Impel Down. Impel Down is the better rewatch. That's fair. That is fair. It's a fair take. I I prefer Jaya ever so slightly. I do think Impel Down. Like writing wise, I think they're both close. Like Impel Down, we also see the first Zone awakenings. Like here, the guards of Impel Down. Jaya is a better read. Oh yeah, no. I think Impel Down is a better rewatch. Jaya is a better reread, probably. I do kind of agree with that. I do think Impel Down feels kind of. I do have trouble getting through Impel Down in the anime, but I do think it's great in the anime. I don't know. It's tough. Amazon Warrior Impel Down. This is Impel Down. Impel Down better than Amazon Warrior? Yes. I do agree. Amazon Warrior Romance Dawn. I prefer Romance Dawn. Amazon Warrior is very important to the story. I do prefer Romance Dawn. Yeah, and Romance Dawn is even more important than Amazon Warrior to the story. Romance Dawn. It's the Romance Dawn. Return of Salvador's Amazon Warrior. I think Amazon Warrior is the better arc, though I prefer Return to Salvador. I prefer, yeah. Close, but I'll go Amazon Warrior. That's fair. It is close. I think Amazon Warrior is the better arc. Again, if we're speaking objectively, I would go Amazon Warrior. Speaking subjectively, I'm going Return Sabaody. Amazon Warrior Wilgarn. Wilgarn just does too much for Usopp's character for me to not choose Wilgarn. I also choose Story and Broggy, who are great characters. Yes, Amazon Warrior chooses Boa, who's a great character, but the rest of the cast and Gloriosa, member of a former Rocks pirate. Wilgarn, I think, just has a stronger cast, does too much for Usopp's character, and I prefer Wilgarn over Amazon Lily. Reverse Mountain or Amazon Lily. This fuck-ass whale, I love it. I'm going Reverse Mountain. It also does a lot to set up Brook. Hook, pulls at my heartstrings. And yeah. I will say, this is an arc that I think was actually done better in the live action. Over both the anime and manga. Now, this comes with the live action being able to go back and do some stuff. First Roger part we see outside of Shanks? Is he? Yeah, Crocus actually, I think, is the first. No, he's the third. Because we see Shanks, then Buggy, then we see Crocus. Yeah. Third member of the Roger Pirates. We meet. Yeah, true Buggy. Yeah, but like he was the first Roger Pirate we meet who actually made it to Laugh Tale, like, because Shanks and Buggy didn't make it to Laugh Tale. Crocus did. Now again, I do think the Reverse Mountain was done better in the live action. Surprisingly, I like the One Piece live action. I think it's great. I don't think it's better than the anime or manga. Other than maybe Syrup Village. And Reverse Mountain. I think Like, watching Luffy sing Pink Sake to a boon in the live action made me cry. Reverse Mountain did not, in the anime and manga, did not make me cry. So, in the second season of the live action, you need to go. Yes, you do. Sorry, I spoiled it. Um, yeah, Reverse Mountain, I think it is actually done best in the live action. It's like it made me cry. Reverse Mountain in the anime and manga has put me on the verge of tears, but has never made me cry. Like upon reads and rewatches in a rewatch, it's fine. Okay, yeah, no, but yeah, like, but the live action actual Reverse Mountain actually did make me cry. Um, Reverse Mountain, I think is better than Amazon Lily. Zoe or Amazon Lily? I think Zoe is better. I also have more fun reading Zoe. Uh, yeah, Zoe. Yeah, I agree. I have more fun reading Zoe. I think Zoe's a better arc. It sets up Whole Cake Island and Wano very well. Amazon really he sets up the rest of the Summit War saga fine. And Zoe's also sets up the Roppongols. Logtown or Amazon Lily? I'm going Amazon Lily, though it's another one where if we were talking anime versus manga, that that changed things. I think manga, which is what I'm talking about, I'm going with Amazon Lily for manga. Though for anime specifically, I would go Logtown. Because Logtown is one of the few cases where the anime's filler and canon episodes improves it. The Luffy and Smoker meeting in Roger's favorite bar. I like as I mentioned earlier, like Smoker and Luffy meeting in Roger's favorite bar. The Daddy the Father versus his Usopp duel. That does a lot for Usopp's character. That's great. Sanji, his cooking duel is fun. It is. Logtown is far better than the anime. I think Amazon Lily is better in the manga than the anime, and I do think specifically for manga, Amazon Lily is better than Logtown. I prefer Amazon Lily over Logtown in the manga. But I do think this is close. Orange Town or Logtown? This goes to Orange Town for me. Shushu's backstory pulled at my heartstrings. Didn't make me cry. Up when I first watched it. Even when I first read it, but upon rereads and when I rewatched it, it did make me tear up a bit. I didn't full on cry, like I didn't bawl my eyes out. Yeah, Logtown, that's fair. I'm still going Orange Town because just Orange Town, I like, not gonna lie, that's fair. Um, Orange Town is funny. It introduces Buggy and Nami. Shushu's backstory, he is heartbreaking. Best part of Orange Town is the live action. Well, hmm. I I think for me, the live action and the anime manga Orange Town are interchangeable. The live action removed the Shushu backstory, which I didn't like. I think Nami's introduction is better in the anime and manga. Um, like having it be in Orange Town too. Love Buggy's actor. Oh yeah, that's fair. Uh, he does an incredible job, though they all do. Um, Orangetown, like all the live action actors do a great job. Orangetown is because I do think they're interchangeable. Like removing Shushu and changing and not making Orangetown where Nami's in to do and having Orangetown not be Nami's introduction, I think hurts Orangetown. But then like making it shorter makes Orangetown better. I'm still going Orangetown, but though I understand why you would go Logtown. On Fishman Island or Logtown. Again, if this is anime, I'd go Logtown. This is manga. And I'm one of Fishman Island's biggest fucking defenders. Uh, the Queen Otime and Fisher Tiger flashbacks are great. And specifically the context of Fishman Island, Horty Jones is a great villain. Like, for the specific themes of Fishman Island and the message Fishman Island is trying to get across. Fishman Island is so ass. Thing is flashbacks. Again, for the themes of Fishman Island and the specific message Fishman Island is trying to get across, Horty Jones is a great villain. Horty Jones is such a bad villain to me. That's fair. In any other context, he would be. Though again, specifically for Fishman Island, in the context of Fishman Island, he's a good villain. One. We also have Jinbei giving blood to Luffy, which is an incredible moment. It's beaten by Zoro. Yeah. No time that he was going to beat Luffy. No, obviously no. Though, again, it's really because of the themes of Fishman Island and the message of Fishman Island that makes Horty actually a villain that I think is actually good. At least in other arcs, the villains are more believable. Was powerhouses. That's fair. Vanderdecken sucks. I fucking hate Vanderdecken. Again, I think. And Fishman Island is far easier to get through in the manga. Because it's like. What? Like. It's like. Ow. Like, I can probably. Oh, God, I hate Vanderdecken. Yeah. Holy shit, is he a bad character? Oh, yes, he is. He sucks so bad. He sucks so much. I also sets up St. Mio's guards, change. I like it. I do like it. I think Fishman Island is a good arc, and I think if we're talking anime, I go Logtown because. Like, the anime improves Logtown where it very much makes Fishman Island worse. Mainly with the pacing. And creepy AF. Oh, yeah, he's so creepy. But, yeah, like, again, anime I go Logtown because the anime improves Logtown. Whereas the anime's pacing makes Fishman Island worse. But Logtown doesn't have the fun stuff that it has in the anime and the manga. And Fishman Island is a far easier arc to get through in the manga. The pacing's better. Like, I could probably backstory with the captain is the best part of that arc. Fair. Yeah, it's Fisher Tiger and Queen Otime, my backstory. That's incredible. That's the best part of the arc. Like, I could. Fish Tiger, yes. Like, I. Got the name of the Captain Fish Tiger, yes. Like, I could probably like just burn through Fishman Island in the manga like within like a day and a half or two. Like it's really not that bad in the manga. In the anime though, I was on Fishman Island for like a month. I think I'm going Fishman Island, though this is close. I do understand why you and others would say Lockdown. Because, like, you really have to dig into the weeds of Fishman Island. Specifically, Hody also loves Sanji, but his interaction of some Fishman Island some of the worst in the anime. Oh, absolutely. As I said earlier, Whole Cake really helped Sanji's character, whereas Fishman Island and Punk Hazard did him no favors. Even Return to Salvoti didn't help him a lot, but yeah. Like, what the fuck did Sanji do I have bleed in that arc? Not a lot. He did, like, I think he had a 1v1, but, like, he and every other Straw Hat who fought, which was all of them, they just completely mollywopped their opponent. Like, they embarrassed them. Like, I'm dating myself here, but like, I don't know if you watched Henry Danger, like growing up or something. When what's his name? Just can't stand Fishman Island. That's fair. I think Fishman Island, like again, you really have to dig into the weeds of Fishman Island to fully, I think appreciate it, which is an issue. That is a criticism I could levy against it. Um, and specifically Hody's character. You have to really dig deep into Fishman Island to really understand Hody's character. Again, I understand why people have it as one of their least favorite arcs, and it is probably one of my least favorite too. I just think I prefer over Lockdown in the manga, but anime it's Lockdown. Punk Hazard Lockdown. Ooh, um, Punk Hazard has better setup than Lockdown. No, I do prefer Lockdown. That Punk Hazard, that's fair. It's fair. Um, Punk Hazard also does Sanji no favors. Virgo is nice. That's not the word I'd use to describe him. Law's reintroduction, yeah, that is true. Law's reintroduction is great. Smoker's reintroduction is also pretty decent. Punk Hazard. Yeah, actually, I think I might go Punk Hazard. I think you've convinced me on Punk Hazard. Also, again, I have a soft spot for kids. So Punk Hazard hits me hard emotionally. Kiji's so tough. Yeah. Punk Hazard makes Dofi look so strong. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Punk Hazard. Whiskey Peak or Logtown? I'm going Logtown. Whiskey Peak is good. Logtown is better. Whiskey Peak is good. They ain't better than Logtown. I just get more of Logtown, even in the manga. I get more of Logtown than I do with Whiskey Peak. Whiskey Peak is the worst arc in the story. Really? You'd say even worse than Long Ring Longland? Because for me, that's the worst arc in the story. By far. Like, other than it being kind of funny, I can't think of any redeeming qualities for Long Ring Long. And I guess, like, some small setup for, like, Davy Jones and Davy backfights and stuff. I can't think of any, like, ways to defend Long Ring Longland. Whereas Whiskey Peak, it's good. It's a good proper start to the Alabasta saga. We get like we get introduced to Vivi and Igaram. Long-Ring Longland is at least funny as fuck. Plus, you get Aokiji's introduction. That is true. Oh yeah, I completely forgot Long-Ring Longland introduced Aokiji. Um, that's usually the first thing I would say to the defense of Long Ring Longland, even though I don't like defending Long Ring Longland. I think Long Ring Longland fucking sucks. I go Logtown here because Whiskey Peak is probably one of my least favorite arcs in the story. I think my bottom three go from worst to third worst. Probably go Long Ring Longland, Syrup Village, Whiskey Peak. I could probably. I hate that Luffy Zoro and Zoro fight. That was stupid as fuck for me. Yeah, no, the Luffy Zoro fight was so stupid. Absolutely, it was dumb. That should have never happened. I'm going to Logtown. Syrup Village. Here we go. Syrup Village or Whiskey Peak. Actually, I think it might go to Syrup Village. I know I was just saying that. I think I prefer Whiskey Peak over Syrup Village. Though I think Mr. Five throwing boogers was also dumb. Yeah, true. Usopp? Yeah, so do I. I love every show. I love every show at. Yeah, Syrup Village is Usopp's introduction. We get his backstory. Realistically, yeah, I think Syrup Village is one of the worst arcs in the story. Probably bottom three. Though realistically, what does Whiskey Peak do better than Syrup Village? Also, Kuro is underrated as a villain. I disagree. I think Kuro is a bad villain. His point makes no sense and stuff like that. Like, just obviously my criticisms about Kuro are the same criticisms that everyone else has about Kuro. His point makes no sense. And it's overcomplicated when it doesn't need to be. He didn't even need to have a plan. He was already living a pretty good life. As a butler. Or does it for the money. All those years for his target, yes. Though he was already living a pretty decent life as Kai's butler. Like, maybe if Kai was abusive to him, that would be a different story. Though Kai actually truly loved Kuro, or who she thought was Quahador. She actually cared about him. She's a good villain in the wrong timeline. Fair. But yeah, Kai cared about Kuro. He could have probably just, and the whole village liked him. He could have just probably lived out his life in relative comfort. No, I'm not saying Mr. Five is a better villain than Kuro. Absolutely not. Mr. Five fucking sucks. I'm saying Kuro. I'm just saying that I disagree with you, and why I disagree with you that Kuro is an underrated villain. Like, oh yeah, it introduced the Going Merry. That's true. Yeah, the male balance brothers suck. Django is cool. Oh, I think Kuro's not good, but I think overall Syrup Village is better than Whiskey Peak. I'm going Whiskey Peak. I hate Long Ring Longland with a burning passion. Usopp's mom passing is so sad. Sad to me as well. Yeah. I do think Usopp probably is one of the worst backstories on the shots. It's him and Zoro, but damn, does it? But his backstory is so good. Well, wait for. Yeah, I know you hate Whiskey Peak. Again, I'm going Whiskey Peak. Uh, I hate Longer and Longland with a burning passion. I just never want to reread or rewatch Longer and Longland ever again. That is always my biggest hurdle. Zoro and Luffy's backstories are the weakest. That's fair. Um, that's absolutely fair. I think I I think Luffy is one of the weakest. Does one have one of the weakest backstories in the series? Actually, technically two of them. Though I kind of combine that the ASL backstory and the Shanks backstory, um, into one. Yeah. But yeah, whatever. I'm going Whiskey Peak. You go Longland. That's fine. I just heavily disagree. uh, ranking locked. Okay, let's go down the list. I've been doing this longer than I was expecting. Afro Luffy. Yeah. Let's go down the list. I was doing this longer than I thought I was gonna be. Damn. Okay. I don't think this is correct. Angel Lobby absolutely is where it should be. I absolutely think Angel Lobby is better than every other arc in the series. It is Oda's magnum opus. Arlong Park. I would probably move Arlong Park down to number 3 and move Water 7 up to number 2. I think Water 7 is flawless. I think it's my second favorite arc in the series. Zombie's my favorite arc. Yeah, it's mine. It's mine too. But yeah, I think Arlong Park was put too high. Water 7 was put too low. I think move Arlong Park and take it down. Water 7 up to number 2. Arlong Park being as high as it is kind of surprises me. Because, well, yes, it was at one time my favorite arc in One Piece. Like, it hasn't been in my favorite arc or even my top 3 for a while. It's the first time I've actually seen it be put in my top 3 in a while. Egghead, uh, I Egghead was at one time my second favorite arc. Now I think it's starting to go down a bit as I start looking back on it more. And now I don't think it's top 3. I think it barely misses top 3. I think it's number 4 now. Whole Cake at number 5. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah. Skype at number 6. That also makes sense to me. For me, it's Angel Lobby, Wano, R7, Marineford, Dressrosa, Whole Cake. And okay, so that's your top 6. Okay, uh, that's fair. Number 7, Drum Island. Under that makes sense, though I'm surprised it's above Dressrosa. I think these might be interchangeable, though I'm fine with Drum Island at number 7, Dressrosa at number 8. Marineford at number 9. I'm surprised at how low it is, though it also makes sense because I am lower on Marineford. I'm lower on Marineford than many others are. I'm fully aware of this fact. I've been aware of it since I first read Marineford. Elbaf at 10. Elbaf cracking my top 10 when it's not done is impressive. Now, how it ends will depend on if it goes up or down or stays at 10. Marineford's peak interactions. Yeah, that's completely fair. I agree with that. But yeah. Elbaf being this high when it's not done, even though I there was that again that one chapter I absolutely despised with my whole being. It was good. It's good. It's a good arc. It's a great arc even. I think 10 is fine. I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this. Number 11 is Thoroughbark. I love Thoroughbark. I didn't expect it to be number 11. This is higher than I thought it would be. Okay. I mean, I'm fine with it. I just wasn't expecting Wano Solo. Yeah, but I mean, look, I know you love Wano. Clearly, well now clearly, but I just have so many issues with it. Like it's so bloated. Like yes, I love every single plot point in Wano as a standalone plot point, but I think Odom just mashed way too many plot points together. I just think Wano was so bloated even in the manga, and its pacing was not good. Would even in the manga. Kaido was such a badass film. Yeah, but he also isn't a very well written one. He doesn't like his backstory fucking sucks. Uh, like I just don't get what I get. Wano is bloated, but it's a great fights and a great side cat. Yeah, it does. That's fair. I understand why so many people have it as one of their favorites. Though again, I have it. It's number 15 for me. Like just barely missing the like just better than the bottom half because of my criticisms of it. Salvador Capello got 12, makes sense. Alabasta at 13, makes sense. Barati at 14, makes sense. 115 makes sense to me. Turn of the shots, getting actual one-on-one fights in Sunny's lobby. Yeah, true. Yes. That is true. Ooh. Yeah, that is right. 8. Yeah. Post-war at 16 makes sense to me. Post-Sunny's lobby at 17 makes sense to me. Reverie at 18 makes sense to me. Jai at 19 makes sense. Impel down at 20 makes sense. So satisfying seeing Sanji, Zoro, and Robin all get power-ups. Oh, yes, absolutely. And again, I do think Sanji vs. Queen is one of the best fights in the series because of what it does for his character. Like the scene of him being like, who does Luffy want on his crew? Who would be more useful to the king of the pirates? Sanji vs. Queen in cinema? Yes. Like, who would be more useful to the king of pirates? More importantly, who does Luffy want on his crew? Does he want a feelingless a monster who lacks feelings, emotions, and just a fighting machine, or a human? And he chooses correctly. He chooses who Luffy both needs and wants more, which is Sanji, not this unfeeling and uncaring in battle machine. Like it's great, but I just think one has way too many issues for it to go higher. Go down and 20 for me makes sense. Rewatch 1 now. I kind of want to reread it. I have trouble with the One Piece anime as it is now. Its pacing. I have issues with its pacing. I have issues with how Toei's handling Sanji's character. From what I've seen, I have issues with it not giving proper adaptations to the cover stories. Like, I have some Toei is asked. Oh yes. Um, what I'm hoping for One Piece remake, it's already gonna have better pacing, which I'm happy about. I'm hoping that they actually give time to expand on the cover stories and properly adapt them. If they probably won't, unfortunately, they may make better decisions. Well, I think it's already gonna. It's already clearly gonna have better pacing, like closer to the manga's pacing, and it probably won't downplay Sanji. Like a lot of the reason why he he's not as good in the anime as he is in the manga is because Toei he needs to add is because Toei adds scenes because it's gonna be very concise. That's fair, yeah. Yeah. Like they'll probably do what the anime did for the pudding back cover story where Quinn gets kidnapped by Kuzan and Van Auger, where there'll be like so where a narrator's going so that where the narrator's gonna be like, so this happened, and then they move on. That's probably what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, that is an issue I will have with the uh, remake, because that's almost certainly gonna happen. Go to sleep. So work tomorrow. It's fun. I'll stop by another time. One Piece. Yeah. For anime openings, because all anime openings. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you joined here. I hope to see you soon. Later. Romance Dawn 21 makes sense to me. Turns out at 22 makes sense, though I actually expected it to be higher. Well, Guardian at 23 makes sense to me. Urusman at 24 makes sense. Zoe at 25 makes sense. Amazon Roll 26 makes sense. Orange 27 makes sense. Fishman Island 28 makes sense. I am one of Fishman Island's biggest offenders. But it is not one. It is easily one of the worst arcs in the series. My bottom 5 One Piece arcs. Punk Hazard at 29. Makes sense. Logtown at 30. Makes sense. Logtown will be higher if the manga was like the anime. Right? If we were talking anime, but we're not. We're talking manga, so it makes sense. Syrup Village, and then Syrup Village 31 makes sense. Whiskey Peak 32 makes sense. Wrong Way at 33 makes sense. These are my 3 least favorite. These are my bottom 3 arcs in One Piece. They have been my bottom 3 arcs in One Piece for ages. But yes, Wrong Way is great. I'm not. Well, I mean, Wrong Way fucking sucks. Whiskey Peak fucking sucks. Syrup Village fucking sucks. Though I do have more good things to say about Syrup Village and Whiskey Peak than I do about Longland. Anyway, I'm actually kind of curious. There's another one I might want. No, at least not this year. But yeah, I was on this for longer than I expected to be. Nearly 3 hours. God damn. I was expecting this to be like an hour, and like half an hour to an hour, and I do Undertale for like half an hour to an hour. No. No.